In a small village nestled between the rolling hills of the savannah, there lived a boy named
Confidence in
Kofi.
oneself matters the
Kofi
most
was
too.
known to everyone in the village, but not for reasons that made him proud. While he was clever, hardworking, and had a heart as pure as gold, there was one thing he could never escape: the way people saw him. Kofi was not what the other children, especially the girls, considered handsome. His face was round and scarred from childhood illness, his skin darker than the sun-kissed glow of the other village boys. His hair was wild and unruly, like the twisting branches of the baobab tree. He wasn't tall or strong like the other boys either. He was often teased, laughed at, and left out of games and conversations. The girls of the village admired the strong, tall boys who could run fast and pick up heavy baskets. They admired the boys who could sing well or who had charming smiles, but Kofi never stood out. He watched from a distance as his peers flirted and played, feeling the sting of rejection every day. He could hear their whispers when they passed him, hear the laughter when he spoke. He was always the one left behind. Kofi, however, was not one to let this rejection define him. Every day, after the other children had gone off to play, he would walk into the forest alone, deep into the heart of the wilderness. There, by the cool stream where the water flowed like a river of dreams, Kofi would sit quietly, listening to the wind and the whispers of the trees. He spoke to the animals, learned from the elders of the forest, and listened to the song of the earth. He would practice his skills in peace, learning to weave baskets, carving wood, and becoming an expert in herbal medicine. One evening, as Kofi sat by the stream, a wise old woman appeared before him. She had the face of the earth, wrinkled with age but full of wisdom. Her skin was like the bark of an ancient tree, and her eyes shone with the fire of the stars. "Child," she said softly, "I have been watching you. I see your heart, your efforts, and the way you have chosen to walk the path of wisdom. But I also see the pain you carry, pain from the way others treat you. You must know, Kofi, that the world does not always see what is truly valuable." Kofi looked up at her, his eyes filled with sorrow. "I try to be kind," he said, "but no one sees me. They laugh at me. I am always the one left behind." The wise woman smiled kindly. "The world sees with its eyes, but the heart sees much deeper. You have great strength within you, and it is time for the world to see it." She placed her hand gently on his chest. "Go back to your village, Kofi, and know that your transformation is not one of mere appearance, but of heart and spirit. The people will come to see you when you change not just your form, but your essence." With those words, the woman vanished, leaving behind a faint scent of jasmine in the air. The next morning, Kofi woke with a new sense of purpose. He gathered his belongings, his tools, his woven baskets, and his herbs, and set off toward the village. He knew that the transformation the old woman had spoken of would not happen overnight. It would take time, patience, and belief in himself. Kofi spent the next several months working harder than ever. He continued his studies in the forest, but now he also began to focus on his physical strength. He worked in the fields, lifting heavy bundles of millet, and he learned to run faster and longer than before. He took special care with his appearance, grooming himself, but not for the sake of others. He did it for himself, to honor the body he had been given. He began to speak more confidently, his voice carrying the wisdom of the forest and the strength of the earth. He didn't seek approval from the other children, but he no longer hid in the shadows. His presence grew like the towering trees that line the village's borders, sturdy and strong. As the months passed, the changes in Kofi were undeniable. His once messy hair now grew thick and strong like the mane of a lion. His skin, though still dark, glowed with the health of someone who worked in harmony with the land. He moved with grace and strength, and his confidence shone through every action he took. One day, the village gathered for a celebration of the harvest. The young men and women danced in the circle, singing songs of joy. Kofi, who had once been too shy to join in, walked into the center of the gathering. As he stepped into the circle, the music paused for a moment. All eyes turned to him. Kofi stood tall, his chest proud and his eyes steady. He wasn't the same boy who had once been overlooked. He had transformed into someone who carried the strength of the earth, the wisdom of the forest, and the confidence of one who knew his worth. The girls who had once laughed at him now looked at him with new eyes.
Beauty must be judged based on what's within, not what is seen on the outside.